start session after every facilitator has spoken, or after all of them have spoken. I don't know how you guys would want it, but yeah. Okay, let's get started with our opening remark. To officially open today's orientation, we'll be hearing from three of our facilitators. Well, I'm going to start with Bolupe Taiwo. She was recently graduated from our prestigious Department of Building. She's someone who sees herself as an athlete, and therefore she needs to show up every time. She served as she served as a PRO, as the PRO for Department of Building in 200 level. Her leadership journey continued as she served as the FinTech and Welfare Secretary of the Faculty of Environmental Science Students Fellowship in 400 level. During her IT semester, she interned with MT&T as a PM, overseeing high-profile cases, 7 of them, across Lagos State. With a passion for project management, Bolupe is a first-class graduate with 3 consecutive 5.0 GPAs. All these scholars said, sorry. Please join me in welcoming Bolupe Taiwo. Didn't get your reaction, so I know you are listening. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Amina.
Bolupe, you have the floor now.
Oh, my bad. I didn't know this was the part where I speak. Thank you very much, everyone. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for having me. And I also like to thank all the NAOBS executives for putting this together. Thank you so much. Um, I'd like to ask Rachel, is there anything you want me to speak on? I know I'm here this. I know the theme for this orientation is majorly about SIWES and the final year project. So there's something specific I should speak on right now.
You can pick between any of the. Sorry, give me a second.
Hi, Bolupe.
Hi, Ugoma.
Can
Good
you hear
evening.
me?
Yes, I can.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Okay, so I think you can speak on like both, if that's fine with you.
Okay. All right. No problem. That's
All right.
fine. That's fine. I hope I'm quite audible. I'm going to speak on the um SIWES defense. Since that's first. So, firstly, congratulations, guys, for those who are done with their defense and those who are still up to it. Well done to you. So, um, majorly, the drill, have your logbook, have your technical reports, and have your slides. I think those are the 3 deliverables for your serious defense. For my logbook, during my SIWES, I did a lot of work, as in I worked I worked a lot, so there was so much to talk about. And as much as there was so much to talk about, the tasks were repetitive. So even in my logbook, as much as there's this, there's that, I ended up talking about, majorly what I did on a day-to-day basis and what I did. I didn't fill all my logbook the like straight away. Like I was doing it like in bits and bits and bits. But there's that part where you have to draw that other side. There are questions as to, should I draw there? Should I put pictures there? For mine, majority of it were pictures. So what I did was to, pictures of sites, whatever, sites, pictures I took on site majorly. I took that, then I opened up MS Word. I did like a table. So I had those pictures, let's say like 4 in one, and like 4 together on one single page. Then I crop it to a sizable portion, and that still makes it visible because there was a printer in my office. So I used everything I did. I printed everything inside our office. So basically, I crop it properly. Then I printed it, colored for garnish, and for each picture, like under each picture, there's like label on it. Okay, block work on ground floor, because I worked in a project management office majorly, but I had to go on site visits. We went on site visits at least like once or twice in a week, but because there were about 7 projects, so you can't cover everywhere in one day. And yeah, so I added labels to each picture. So when they're seeing this particular picture, oh, this is what it's representing. So 4 pictures, each having a label, like a tabular format. I would have loved to share my screen, but my bad. my bad. Yeah, that, and then I cut it out with like a scissors. Then you can use glue, but the reason why I cut mine out and I used this transparent tape or paper tape for it was because I wasn't sure. I was skeptical because I don't know how Department of Building will have it, sure. And I didn't have like anybody tell me that, oh, this is it or not. But I did that and I used this transparent tape to put it on it neatly for that picture area. But I did that like on several pages, but some I left out, like about 5. So on those 5 pages, I mean, I couldn't draw, like if they are doing block work on site, I can't draw that obviously. What I did was to draw the equipment I saw on site, like a crane, a tower crane. So I just went online. Obviously, I didn't want to, draw something really ambiguous. I went online, I checked for a simple sketch of a tower crane. So like, something as simple as, one all those sketches that they give to children to trace out. So that was easier for me to draw. So on one page I can have like 3 equipments that are visually appealing and well labeled. Yeah, so that was majorly it for my logbook. And my logbook, yes, was not scanty at all. For each day I had like, okay, number 1, 2, 3, Tuesday 1, 2, 3. So I tried to manage my space very well. But I don't think it's a one size fits all thing at the end of the day, but that was what I did. And yeah, that happened. That was it for my logbook. For comments, like my supervisor put a comment and some, then the minister had to go and fix myself. And by the grace of God, I think myself, I'm a good girl, I'm a hardworking girl. I mean, yeah. So that was majorly it. And then for my technical report was really bulky. I had it as many pictures as I had, but not irrelevant ones or repetitive ones. Like I mentioned, I worked on mega projects in Lagos, so like there was lots to see. So yeah, I added pictures of that, this panoramic pump for concrete. I don't know if you guys have seen that. I added things that were aesthetically pleasing, I guess, you know, to my report. That is technical reports. Pictures. I didn't do too much of talking, majorly pictures. I can share my reports with you guys after this meeting. It was really, really bulky, and all the pictures I printed colored. Yeah, I didn't print anything black and white. I remember after printing, I felt it in my account balance. Like, my, because I couldn't print that one as well. I was like, yeah. So yeah, that happened. And then the next deliverable I am to speak on here, I think it's your presentation slide. Your presentation slide, for me, I like animation. Yeah, so sorry, or illustrations rather, not animations, illustrations. For those who are tech savvy, you might know what illustrations are. So I was able to get a template, a slide online. I started working on my slides even before my report. So it was just something fun I just did in the office. So I picked it up. I didn't want my slides to be too wordy. So yeah, I just did my slides. I used a lot of illustrations. Then I didn't want it to be too long, so I don't have to be going back to the computer and next, that type of thing. But at the end of the day, it was like about 32. Yeah, it was about 32 because I worked on 7 projects. How am I trying to fit 7 projects into like 15 slides? That would have been hard for me. But regardless, I made sure to include what was, you know, make it visually appealing because at the end of the day, I imagine myself being on the panel and someone is speaking to me. If the slides contain everything inside your head, like it's not given to me because I want to see something like I want to depend on what I'm hearing. And when I'm saying should be good to me, what you're saying matters more to me. I think that's for me personally. I don't know how it works for others. But yeah, I tried to make it as visually appealing as possible. And one major thing I added to my slide was a 1 minute video. I vlogged all through for those who use Snapchat and all of that. Yeah, I almost every single day during my breaks when I felt tired, I vlogged around head and I kept everything in my memories. And any day that like I'm probably on site and something's going on, I did that. So I just kept them like so randomly the idea just popped into my head. Let me make a vlog. So it's in my life. So what I did was to record some videos of me on site. I was like, hi everyone, I'm currently on site. Then I did them on site like different days where I was saying, oh hi everyone, I'm currently on site. So I merged all of them together. And then I edited it. And yes, after editing it, yeah, I was showing views, the leaves areas, I was showing cool things, excavation process, but everything was into like 1 second, oh sorry, 1 minute rather. And then I used like a nice I wasn't trying to use any I used all those nice sounds you see on if you're a YouTube person and you watch vlogs, there are some particular sounds uh that work for vlogs. But basically that was what I did. So I added that video as a commercial break for them. And yeah, that was majorly for my slide. Yes. That was majorly for my slide. That was it. And then moving on to presentation, how I did my presentation. I feel like first things is that I think right from 300 level, we started presenting stuff to Dr. Fahmy, one project here and there. So I can say we are all to some extent familiar with presentations in the Department of Building. And we know how it goes. There is that, not wanting to go last and also not wanting to go first. For me, I always want to go first because I don't want to do and go. So I really wanted to go first, but plot twist, I didn't go first. I think I was like the third person to go in. Was it the third? Yeah, I think I was the third person to go in. And then I went in. Yes, it's just presented. There's no hard and fast rule to it, but look as good as possible. Yes, and one thing that comes first to me for presentations first is body language. What are you saying? Like, are you giving timid? Are you giving shy? Are you giving confused? Are you giving exhausted? Are you giving I don't want to be here? Are you giving I just want to cook? So your body language says a lot even before you speak. So for me, I think I try my best to smile a lot, even if when you give me like um constructive feedback on what I should do better, I try my best to just keep it smiling. Yes, so they can see that they're actually communicating to me effectively and I'm taking it well. So at the end of the day, of whatever presentation it is, I would end up getting a good grade because I created a relationship with synergy with whoever I'm presenting with while I'm doing that. So going in as like in my head, like one thing I did before going to present was there are three things: pray, plan, and practice. I think those are the three things. Yes, yeah, pray, prepare, and practice. Those three things. Yes, pray because as much as you can have this nudget here, that nudget here, or do this, do that. It's important to pray. Please just pray because you never know the mood of whoever is greeting you or how favor is going to come your way. I mean, who could have thought that I would like, I didn't even expect my score if I'm being honest, because I didn't even have to see everything on my slide. I was just having a conversation with them, and that's made it kind of, at the end of the day, God made it work for me. So, yeah, you don't have to see everything in your slide. You don't have to be chewing hot on your mind, trying to wrap. I think after I got to like the second or third slide, I mentioned the company I worked with, and I mentioned how engaging this SIWES was for me, how much I worked and what I was engaged with, what I learned. They know that not every project is perfect. I mean, they've been in the industry before. So they know that they're not coming together, oh, it was an amazing project. Let them know that this challenge was faced and this is how we're able to navigate together as a team while working there. So me working in project management, for example, there were so many obstacles, so many challenges. So when I'm talking about one particular project I worked on, I'm attaching pictures, then I'm talking about the major things, like in terms of I'm trying my best not to use any technical terms so I don't lose anyone. Because if I've lost everybody, we can leave now. So, for example, I'm talking about the 5-story building at Bariga that I worked on. Yes, these are the next thing I talk about are the particular works or activities I witnessed. Because obviously the span of a project is usually like 1 year plus. Except it's a really small project. So you talk about the things you're able to see what like where you met them and what you saw. Like, oh, as at the time I was onboarded on the project, they were climbing on the first floor and I witnessed everything to the third floor. Then talk about, okay, you don't need to go into details of they were laying block or it's not that everything was in alignment. I was looking like speak to it. I think I was the one in charge of the side. And I ensured that, just body it because for me now, okay, okay. Thank you so much. For me now, I I what's the word? I wasn't trying to butter anything up, so to speak. But yeah, like I said, just practice as much as possible. You know, tell your parents to sit down. You want to show them your slide. Let your friends see your slide. You might want to hear it from your classmates. I don't know, but at least few people, in terms of visuals, what is it saying to you? And then when you are presenting to them, like having like you're pitching it's like a demo. And when you get in front of the lecturers, please, they're actual human beings. Don't be sweaty. Don't be fidgety. Whatever it is, it is. Just be there. Just be there and be good. Yeah, and eye contact. Eye contact. Maintain eye contact. No matter whatever they want to say, smile through it. Blush. Yes, sir. Yeah, that type of thing. Make a connection. Build a connection. For me, I didn't have, like I mentioned earlier, I didn't have to say everything on my side. Because the moment they heard about the company I worked with and how well I was engaged on 7 projects, when they were talking about other things about the company, a particular friend that graduated from the university that went there, and then there was no need for me to even complete anymore. But then I was like, so I present to show you to the end. And they're like, oh, it's already done. Like, what else? You did well. And then they just came through they flipped through the report to just look at because obviously they won't be reading line for line, but for what? It was quite bulky. Mine was really bulky. So that was majorly it. And after, thank you very much, sir. Just be cute, yeah. So I guess that's it from my end. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Buluke, for this insightful and encouraging message. I'm sure a lot of us have clearer pictures on how to attend to our defense and hopefully how to prepare our like slides and everything. Thank you so much. And yes, remember to pray, prepare, and practice. I don't know if anybody has questions for her. I don't know. She can take questions now so we can move on to the next facilitator. Okay, Khalid, you can ask your question.
Okay, I'm currently in transit, so the traffic might, I don't know if the traffic might do stuff. To be really clear, I also like worked on like in a consultancy firm. I did like project management and some other engineering work, but largely like project management. And what I worked on, I know like they're not all residential. They are like more of civil infrastructure, geotechnics, and even aviation. So how do you think I can? How do you think they will relate with me? Because I know not many of our lecturers have grounded knowledge in this field.
Okay, thank you very much for that question. That's very true. We had in our set, we had some people who worked with, this solar, would I say, what's the word? Solar people, people used to fix solar panel. So that person was also fidgety as to, oh, what's gonna happen. We have people work with scalp consults, people test concrete, someone worked on a road project, and stuff like that. And like you mentioned, aviation, geotechnical, I feel like the way you present it to them is what matters the most. Building is a very, they're aware that building is a very versatile course where you can, get opportunities in every aspect of construction, be it geotechnical, aviation, any space whatsoever, as long as they are using concrete there. Concrete, or it has to do with the building, child. I feel like it's the way you present it to them. Ensure that your slides are not tacky with so many words they won't get. Make it as catchy as possible. For example, you are using one word to represent thousands, like lots of stories that they might have to read up on to even grasp. Yeah, so you just don't make it too complex for them. And at the same time, what you say matters, your body language matters. So don't be scared. I feel like you would definitely do well. Yeah, just say, for example, in aviation now, you just telling them that you worked at, the local airports. They don't already go. So if you go into too much the other things that you ought to see in your short time, you'll be missing out on it. So just straight to the point and make it cute. I guess that's my response. I hope that was good enough.
Very, very, very
And
good.
yes,
Compacts are very good.
sorry, yeah, if possible, please feel free to reach out to any of my classmates or anybody, or even like practice your presentation with somebody. Like that's 7 minutes, 8 minutes, schedule a Google Meet, share your screen, and actually do a make believe presentation. That way you can get actual feedback, even if it's from your friend in engineering or someone who's present it to an actual human being. Don't just do rehearsals in your room. Present it to as many as much people as possible. So that way it builds your confidence in what you have. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lupe. I think Ismail raised his hand. Or please, you can ask your question if you have any.
Yeah, I wanted to ask about the time that we used to present, but you mentioned it already.
Oh, okay. All right then. Uguma, do you have any question?
Okay, so maybe sorry guys, I was using my laptop as well. Well, okay, so I'll just ask. You mentioned at the beginning, you mentioned three deliverables. You said technical report, you said the SIWES logbook, and then something else. I don't know. I think I missed that.
Your slides, logbook, technical reports, and your slides.
Okay.
Because you
All right.
have to present a slide. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, anybody else? Okay, I guess that's all. Thank you so much, Bolupe. So I'd like to move on to our next facilitator, and that's going to be Fashional Moise. He's recently graduated from our department, of course, and he's a former coordinator of META. He's also a lover of love. Sorry, he's also a lover of science and arts. Please join me in welcoming Fashional Moise.
Okay, thank you very much for that citation. Um, please confirm, can you hear me clearly? Hello, can you hear me? Can you hear me clearly?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
yes,
Okay, thank you very much. Um, please, what do you want me to speak on? Is it something about SIWES and more projects? But I feel I want to add something to the SIWES presentation because you present to different panelists, and to me, it was like the set of panelists I present was a different story. And my SIWES supervisor was another person different from, I think who Bolupe SIWES supervisor was. So what do you want me to talk about now?
Hi, Moise. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
I mean, now you want to say something. You can go ahead.
Sorry, yes. I just wanted to tell you that he can speak on anyone he wants to speak on. And please, I did mention this before. Because of time, let's try and hurry up with our presentation and everything. Like 15 minutes tops.
Okay, me, I don't speak. I won't speak that long. I don't even like speaking like that. So
Okay.
regarding this
Sorry, Moise,
regarding the
before you go
SIWES,
ahead. Sorry. Like she said, you can speak on anything you want to speak on, but I'm very interested or curious about like your experience with the practical aspect of your final year project. So I think I want to I'm sure like some of us might want to hear about it as well. So you can maybe briefly touch that too. Thank you.
okay, I'll do that. So let me just chip in some things regarding the SIWES. So I think of assessment. The first one is when your SIWES and check what you are doing. So it's going to like assess you, it's going to like grade you. But during my own time, my SIWES professor was Dr. Farami. So he was unable to come to, okay, I did IT at LABSCA, Lagos State Building Control Agency, because I don't like work like that. So he was unable to come. So he told us to come to his office. So like when we were in his office, he did not check our logbook, he didn't check anything. So he was asking questions on what we did on site. So it was like a kind of surprising thing because we were just expecting him to like ask what we were doing and the like. So the first person he asked the question, he actually did SIWES, but he was not expecting the question. So the way he answered the question was not listening to him. So he just said, "Oh, well, she SIWES." So he moved on to me and he asked me like, "What have I done?" So this is when confidence comes in. Some of these lecturers don't really know what you've done. You just have to tell them that, "Oh, I did this," and let there be that flow. I was like, "Oh, I worked in the quality and assurance department. We went on site, we checked for the conformance, this and that and that and that and that." Like you did SIWES. So like when you talk, let them be convinced that you really know, you really did SIWES. So that's the first stage of assessment. So the second stage of assessment, but I know some lecturers will go to the site, like Ibrahim now. That's why Doro went to the site and check on him and ask few questions, check his logbook. The second form of assessment is when they check your when you submission of you are going to be submitting two things, your report and your logbook. So is everything you do that you are sure of that should be in your report? Please, I know some people might not do SIWES and start collecting pictures from their friends just to add it. Because when they are reading through, something can catch their attention, and when they ask you and you're unable to answer, that will bring down your mark. So it's what you are sure of, or even if you did not do SIWES, what you know that you can defend should be what will enter your report. So they are going to grade your report, just as Bolupo has said. Make sure your report is comprehensive. It reflects what you've done. And I don't know I don't know about how bulky we convince them. I think our lecturers these days, they don't like to read bulky material. But when you make it bulky and it is comprehensive, you have your good mark. And the next thing is your logbook. Your logbook is very, very important because this is like it's because your daily activities. I'm very sure Monday to Saturday is not. We don't like. It's not every day of the week that we're always active. Like we do something on site, but regardless of that, you have to make sure that your logbook tells a story of what you've done. Yeah, that story is very, 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 very important. So, and I think there's one experience we had. Some people, there was a part on the logbook that asked them like drawing sketches of what you've done. So some people did not sketch, they did not draw. So they went to go and pick a diagram online, a diagram of instrument, a diagram of equipment, and they now like paste it on those parts. I think there was one of the prof that was just was it prof? I think it was Dr. Shengbe? Yeah, he was just saying those parts. No, this is not allowed. This is not allowed. We're just saying it out, and that would like bring down your mark. So the best thing you can do, like make sure like anything you see on site, either the equipment, yeah, okay, I think I do this. So I did not. Last car, we don't do site work, but when we go for inspection, we see things like this. So I wanted to convince them that I went for inspection, and I saw that they were like props, they were form work was being done. So, but when you draw something like this, when you draw something not complex, something that like has a lot of information, please make sure you label it. Make sure you give it a detailed label, so that will like convince them, and you can also give it like a title. I think I have more pictures, but I'm not sure. I did not snap my logbook, because at the end of the day, they are going to collect your logbook from you. So make sure that you draw everything that you carried out on site. You could draw lintel, you can draw instruments, you can draw your levels, a lot of things, but make sure you don't paste your pictures, you don't paste it on those pages. And the last part, so I can round up. So your presentation, you have different panelists, and I think I was very lucky. The panelists I had were very, very good. At first, they made sure that they told everybody that don't be afraid. We are your fathers there. Just tell us what you've done. So it's brought that tranquility. Okay, okay. Like, don't snap download pictures online, um print it out, you now paste it on this page. Like, the lecturers will tear down. He wants you to draw with your pencils and also the bill. So the panelists I have Dr. Shingbe on my presentation, and that was where he chose me that I'm going to be his project student. So some of you, when you are presenting, this is when the lecturers will scout for you. I have Dr. Shingbe, I have Dr. Akinkumi, and I have Mr. Simeon. I already like okay. So that day, when after I presented, Dr. Akikumi was not asking. This is where I'm going to answer one of the questions colleague asked. So Dr. Akikumi did not ask anybody question. I was just the only one he asked question. And before that, I told Mr. Simon that please, I want you to ask me question, and I don't want tough question. I didn't know that it will not work. It will not work that way. So when I finished presenting, my last word was what rings in Dr. Akinkumi. He just finished eating that day, because he just finished eating. Those energy were like, oh, he said you ensure structural conformance, like the reinforcement size, and this is not more of lab scale work. Last hour was like, check whether the work the right thing, check whether they pay their your fines. So, but when I was doing my IT, I was paying attention to I was working closely with the civil engineer. The question was used to end your presentation. Can you tell me the difference between one-way slab practically, and can you tell me the difference between one-way slab and in practical and in theory? That was like the question he asked. Oh, and thank God before now, like when I was on site, I was seeing. So I was like, oh, when I get to site, I noticed that one-way slab, they're always in form of rectangles. Like I think the main, we have main bars and secondary bar. I've forgotten the exact name they refer to. Like, okay, the main bar is always arranged in the shorter span, and this is that and that, and this is like the aspect ratio in terms of theory and that. Wow, he said beautiful. Then inspiration entered Dr. Shingo, like, okay, no, okay, that's correct. Wow, you did well. Now this is what you have to tell me now, practical now. If you are on site, I was just inspecting. He said, if you're on site, and the design you're working with say that you should use like Y either Y20 or Y18, like the diameter of the like reinforcement. Okay, now said if you're on site, this is the drawing that you have, but what the suppliers supplied for you in terms of reinforcement, or what you had at that time in terms of reinforcement size is 10 and 12 mm. What will you do practically in this case? I think I paused for a while. I know it was like a test, a practical question, and I think I prayed also. Then I gave them the answer, and I think after my response, the whole room filled with laughter, wow, and clap. So I think so what you say, how you say it would determine what score you will be given. So I think I'll stop there for that science presentation. My answer. Okay. My answer was just that. Yes, I'm going to work. I'll just do it. Like, since that's what I have, that's it. because I'm going to redesign. I told them I'm going to redesign that. When you redesign, you calculate the load that is coming on it, and you now divide it based on what you are working on. And like I was able to say some things that came up to my head, yeah, and I was clapped for. I was like, yeah, I think that was where it picked me, and it picked those set of students that worked for him. It picked me. It picked Nazia. It picked Rocky. Please, can we still hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. So he picked Nazia, he picked Raymond, and he picked, okay, those are were just 5 of us that worked for him. Okay. Initially, when I submitted my topic, because we were asked to submit topic, I am a timber person. I love timber. When I was in, I think, year 3, I did an elective that has to do with timber. Because my background, like my secondary school, I went to a technical school. I was in the furniture department. So I did timber. So I went to meet Mr. Simeon before that time when they told us to pick topic. And I told him, sir, like I want to work on timber. Like I like timber. He now told me that I can't find like a problem that timber has. And I went to do my research, but I could not come up like a real problem. It was now then during that time that Dr. Shingri now he met me outside. He met me and Rocky. So he already had this problem area he wanted to like find solution to, find like a student that will help him to find solution. And what was this problem area? He said the commonly used cement is Portland cement, but it's not becoming sustainable nowadays because it is like the constant rising cost. And this constant rising cost is bringing about high construction cost, project delay, abandonment, and like that. This is not sustainable. And apart from that, it is energy intensive. We produce Portland cement is produced, so it requires a lot of fuel, energy, and the like. So this makes it not sustainable. So now he said we should find something that there'll be an alternative, because researchers in the past, what they've been doing, like they've been working on Portland cement. They call it partial replacement, supplementary cementitious material. So they try to like if so what they've been doing, like if Portland cement is meant to be 100%, they try to like, oh, the Portland cement concentration should be 70%. Then he plays it with another material which is like probably a waste or locally available. That would be like, okay, your Portland cement will be concentrated 70%. That material you're bringing might be 30%. So like it will reduce the concentration of Portland cement. It will also like reduce like the cost. So these are like the solution, like researchers have been doing. So what we don't want supplementary material. What like an alternative, something that we can use. But when we now use it, we don't use it in the area of structural works. We use it in the area of non-structural. We want me to find that binder that would use for non-structural work, such as plastering, rendering, bonding of blocks. Like that's my assignment. That would be my assignment. And the assignment to give Rocky was like paint, regarding paint. He said there are some paints that are used in coastal area that they don't, because of the region, it is exposed, because of the seawater, it exposed the paint to salt. That I should find a paint that will resist that effect. So that's what it works on basically. So my assignment, so this is anyone that will fall under Dr. Shengbe, it's not going to start with you with a topic. It's going to start with problem area. It will ask you if you can find a problem area. And where you can get this problem area is either from your SIWES experience, when you read literatures, when you check online on what researchers have been doing. So you can get this like problem area. Then you come and meet him. Then you guys will now be having like class sessions that, okay, now what can we do to solve this problem area? So that was my problem area, basically like finding an alternative to Portland cement. So I went to read literatures. So practical is good. I feel everyone should like uphold practical, but it comes with like a price, and the price is like you will spend a lot. If you are not rich, it will drain your money. It will drain your money. I think the total money I've spent on this practical, it should be close to 500,000 or if not more than it. But I feel I'm not trying to scare anyone in terms of practical now. Maybe it's just the nature of the practical I did. It has to do with like I have to like find a new material. I have to process the material. I have to process the material. So like the equipment that I'll be using to process this material. So the material I actually found that will be a replacement was actually used in the construction of Great Wall of China. It was used in Pyramid of Egypt. Like I found that there was a binder that was actually used, and it resists the test of time. Like it's still like in terms of durability, like is assured. So I told him that, oh, this is the binder that we should work. We should just work on it. We should work, and the name of the binder is called Natural Hydraulic Lime. So I was not developing a new binder entirely. I went to the history and see what was used, and I saw why, and I had to study like, oh, why was it like left for Portland cement? So when I noticed that effect, that oh, this natural hydraulic lime, it was dropped for Portland cement because it has longer setting time, it has lower comprehensive strength, it has high water absorption. So I discussed with Dr. Shing, was like, okay, fine. So now how can we solve this problem? That's when this collaboration came in. You know, I had to collaborate with someone a professor in chemistry. So I basically like had like two supervisors, Professor Adam and him. So Professor Adam suggested that we should use this what they call nanosilica. Now, incorporation of nanosilica into the mortar will solve those effects. But the issue was not like, actually these ideas were beautiful, but they came with a price. They came with time, effort, and cost. That was like initially I was naive. I fell in love with their approach. But when the reality came, I was just crying. So let me round up because of time. So that was basically so my because of I had to process my material. I had to go to Covenant University because Covenant University had like a stable electricity. I had to go to NIBRI, Nigeria Road and Something Research Institute. So it's at Ogun State. I had to go to Firo. Firo is at Oshodi. And everywhere you go to, you will demand money because you have to process this material to make that binder you want to do. So when it comes to practical, the first thing you have to think of is like, what are those resources that I need? For example, now I think Khalid is more interested in LC theory. It's a beautiful idea, but for LC theory, you need to bring three resources together. You need to bring limestone together. You need to bring clay that you burn to a particular temperature, and you need to bring Portland cement that is like 50% concentrated. You need to bring them together. I noticed I actually helped one master student when Dr. Shengbe proposed this idea that that's what he was going to do. When I went to go and read literature, and I know the problem I've been going through regarding my project, I had to go and tell him that, guy, you can't do this. This is like a PhD work. Bringing those materials together is a lot. What you just need to do, I'll help you and meet doctor. Further my research, since I have my materials already. What you just need to do, like produce the binder in large quantity and cast samples, cast cubes out of it. Then do your compressive test, water absorption test, and he accepted and went to meet doctor, and that's what he's currently doing. So for those of you that will follow under Dr. Shengbe, what I'm going to advise is that if you want to escape practical, because it was only one of us that escaped practical. And why did he escape practical? Because of Jago. Jago came in for him that is going to supervise him under Dr. Shengbe. And Dr. Shengbe said no problem. But regardless of that, Dr. Shengbe still seemed as so not serious. Like, he was serious and he likes. But there's something about Dr. Shengbe that you should know is like when you flow with him, your A is guaranteed. Your A is guaranteed because it wasn't that even saved me during my first presentation. My presentation was brilliant. Even I presented in front of Professor Dada. He said, "Oh, what a nice presentation! What a big idea you're working on." However, your writing, what you have in your write-up does not actually describe everything. Or okay, there are some words here that you should not use. Don't use always in your write-up. Always is a strong word. don't use no research has been done, use there's paucity of research. So he was correcting those things. He will correct your reference. So these are things that like he used like to judge your overall score. So it gave me like 63 over 100, and that was far from A. So what helped me was like your supervisor has like I think 40%, no, 50% of the mark, 50-50. So I told my supervisor this and this and this has happened. Then because I had been doing my what is a total of me in my supervisor, so he was able to give me a good mark that I was able to like score A in the first semester. So when you do what you're meant to do, the only thing like it comes with a price, which is the cost. My supervisor actually tried. We actually applied for a grant, but grants will not come on time. So he actually tried. So if you are rich, if you have time and the likes, please you should do practical, because practical you can have groundbreaking, and the result from practical is authentic. Stop here for now. If you have questions, I'll answer them.
Yeah, hello, can you guys hear me? I have a question. So can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Khalid.
All right. So my question is, I am not working on a practical per se, and I'm neither working on any questionnaire based research. What I'm doing is more of software based. Like I'm developing something using certain softwares, also even implementing machine learning. And this is kind of novel in our department because I've never seen any research in this scope, but I know they do it a lot in engineering and the like. So Dr. Shembe is really, really, because I've spoken to him and he's really, really fascinated by my idea and what my research scope is all about. And he has in a way told me that he wants to supervise me. What do you think about all these things? Because even at some point I'm scared of going forward because it means I have to learn a lot of software that I've never used before. When I did a very preliminary research on what is required of me, I saw some very, very funny software. So it's more advice would you give me?
Okay, let me just quick on that. Yes, you can escape practical when you are assigned to Dr. Shigbe, when you can leverage tech with construction. For example, now he told me that I should identify those people that are very good in coding backend in my class. That there's this kind of problem that our AutoCAD families, they are not of our the families we have. Like when it comes to those like those icons, your windows, your your what is called your plumbing fixtures, like they are not what is produced in Nigeria. They are more of like the abroad standard. So in that, like, this is a problem that we need to like visit our own manufacturers. I'll now put in their own specification or these icons into the system so that any designer in Nigeria is working based on what is produced in Nigeria. Like, okay, instead of finding people that can do that. So if you can code, if you can do this, then you can escape practical. But I think I will advise you anything you don't know how to do very well, because you don't have time. Your year one, I think year one, your first semester has some courses that you take that are bulky, and your second semester also has them. So like, will you be learning? It would like it might affect you. So I assure you and try to work on the simplest of all things. I think that was the mistake I did. I was enlarging the scope for myself. It was diming that I got saved, that I had to just bring the scope very small, and I did something, and I'll be able to present that.
All right, thank you so much. I'm also thinking because I have like close relationship with like engineering lecturers, mechanical, civil, and then most of them when you check their portfolio, that these are things that they worked on in the past. So I was also thinking, and most of them like actually astute for doctors and even professors. I was thinking of reaching out to them, telling them about my project, if they could be a collaborative fit for my collaborative potential for my project. What do you think? I should have reached out to one. I just have been studying.
So please, I didn't hear that part. You want to collaborate with someone that is working on your idea. Is that what you said?
No, that works in that field that basically has in-depth knowledge when it comes to using these softwares, like engineering, professors on apprenticeship in engineering.
Yes, that's good because I remember there was a point I got lost. I went to go and meet Dr. Biodun that she should advise me, the woman that taught timber, because I saw her people online that she worked on metakaolin, and I was also using metakaolin. But when I met her, she was like, no, she actually helped me, but she was like, I still need to meet my supervisor. Like, this work has to be done between both of you. So that is something I think I have to tell you. When you are working with Dr. Shingwe, you'll be the one to read your literatures for yourself. All the information you need to do that practical, you will be the one to do that by yourself. You read up. But I think when you're working with Mr. Simeon, he's going to, like, he will have started the work. He will just, okay, do this, do that. And so, like, it's there. So it's good. You can reach out to them. They can help you. And there's something they call research gap. This research gap is like everybody must identify research gap in their work. Like, for example, now, my problem area is what researchers have been doing in the past. They've been trying to find, alternative. But what to make my own work unique from them? That's what they call research gap. So you must be able to identify your research gap early enough, because it's going to, like, influence your methodology, what you work, your chapter one, and the likes.
Thank you so much, Maurice. Does anybody have a question? Okay, Khalid, I'm sorry, Jalil asked the question. I don't know if you've answered it already in the chat box. Sorry, did everybody hear me?
Oh yeah, I heard you. I just saw Jalil's question in the chat box. We are actually not contradictory. What he's trying to say is that, for example, the pictures I pasted in my logbook are pictures I took on site. I added labels to them and I put there. He is saying pictures. For example, you see a tower crane online, you take that picture, you paste it in your logbook, or you see a hammer or someone working on site online, and then put it, or probably an equipment. The equipment I drew in my logbook, I searched for like simple sketch of like a tower crane, for example, and I drew them with my hand, like with a pencil, and I drew them. So on some about 5 pages had like hand drawn drawings, and then other pages had like pictures of stuff on site. Because, for example, Ugoma showed a presentation of some of block work with props. How many block work and props I want? So yeah, that was just easier for me due to the peculiarity of what I worked with. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Boluke, for the clarification. I think that'll be all for Maurice. Does anybody have questions again? Or is that all?
Please, once
I
again,
have a
please don't be
question.
scared of practical. Don't be scared of practical. There are different forms of practical, actually. It was the practical I did. Don't be scared of practical.
Okay, thank you so much, Maurice. Thank you. Um, I'd like to move on to the next facilitator. Our next facilitator was a member of the winning team for 2025 now OAU Innovation Pitch Competition. Also recently graduated from our Department of Building. He is the University of Lagos Technology Transfer Ambassador and 2025 Director of Studies for the Muslim Environmental Sciences Students Association. Please join me in welcoming Moshood Oknola.
Thank you. Moderator. I don't know if you guys can hear me. Am I audible? Okay. All right. Okay. I want to apologize in advance because I'm not going to be as what's the word? I'm not going to be as enthusiastic as the um two speakers. They've done quite a lot of work when it comes to breaking down the concept, especially on the aspect of SIWES defense. I wouldn't dwell too much on that. What I would just like to say on that aspect is that um, your presentation actually is very much dependent on who you are presenting to. I remember I presented to Professor Odusami, Dr. Achi, as well as Dr. Kukoyi. And as you can see, the three of us, we fall into different panels. And Professor Odusami and Dr. Achi were very particular about the logbook. They didn't like the idea of pictures. Now, they did not entirely reject it because Dr. Kukoyi had no problems with it, but they just felt it as, you went to site for 6 months and all you have to do is to just take pictures and paste it on your logbook when, in fact, it should reflect in your technical report. That why didn't you draw? So they saw it as a sign of laziness, sure. But Dr. Kukoyi, on the other hand, she didn't actually mind because obviously she is one for the future. So um, thankfully, I did not paste any pictures. I drew, but there were certain areas where I felt I should have pasted pictures because how can I explain that I um, carried out something without actually showing them, authentic illustrations? I really don't understand why they didn't want pictures, but just take it from me. And my slides, I think 10 pages. I think some of you already have it, and I had videos in it too. And there was even one part I carried out like a solar analysis using Revit, and then I had like the video playing my presentation slide. So that has to do with things that I learned. I saw something quite profound. The table of contents that Bulupe shared in the chat is very similar to mine. Mine might not be as detailed as hers, but you can actually go with that to guide yourself. And technical report, mine was not very aesthetic. It was more technical. I was more particular about numbers, and I prepared like a construction snag list. For those of you that are familiar with it, I pasted the entire list, the entire snag. I think it took about like 6 to 8 pages, if I'm not mistaken. And I had a few pictures, not so many pictures, because I was like, I got transferred from Ikoyi to GRA, and I was the only intern on site, so I did not really have time to take pictures like that. Sure. So that is that about that. So I'll be proceeding to the research aspect. I I wouldn't be speaking too much on practical because obviously I did not do that, but I'm going to talk more about the quantitative aspect of practical of your final project report. And I'm also going to shed a bit of light on the qualitative part too, because I initially had, the premonition of working in that area, but my direction changed at the end of the day. But without further ado, let me just get into it. Your final project report would have 5 chapters. That's the first thing. Chapter 1 is the introduction. Chapter 2 is the review of literature, or literature review as you might call it. Chapter 3 is the methodology, how you carry out your research. Chapter 4 is the presentation of findings, or presentation or discussion of findings, or where after you've carried out your analysis, then you make inferences with respect to what you have carried out. And then chapter 5 is the conclusion, recommendation, and areas for future research. So that's basically the framework of how your report should be structured. So before I submitted my final project topic, I was involved in a lot of things that advocacy programs pertaining to sustainability, and I was very particular about reducing the um, effect of environmental degradation because I think the construction industry in itself contributes to about, I think, 1/3. It should be more now of the world's anthropogenic emissions, basically emissions caused by humans. So basically, I wanted to actually solve that problem. So I narrowed down my idea to focusing on sustainable materials, and then I wanted to work on that. So when I presented my topic here, I very luckily I was put under Mr. Simeon, and me being under Mr. Simeon is more or less like a double-edged sword because it's someone who is very meticulous. I'm sure many of you should know by now. And so initially, when I sent him my, basically what I wanted to do, and I listed out the things that the problems I'd like to solve, immediately said practical, and me, I do not like practical. From the very onset, from secondary school, I didn't like practical because I just don't get buy the idea. Really, I found that simulations are much more efficient ways to get things done rather than actually carrying out practical. Although I'm very like my opinions now have changed, and I'm very much a fan of practicals. So then I did not really like the idea. So I sort of crafted my problem statements in such a way that it would allow for me to study the perception of stakeholders in construction industry on how certain materials would be used. And in fact, the material I proposed to work on was lateritic soil. But if you want more details on that, I can show you my final project report later on so that you can just see what I did and how I went about it. So for my chapter 1, the background to the study, I like to go about it. Let me just put it in very simple terms. The background to the study is like an inverted pyramid approach to the introduction. I mean, by inverted pyramid, I mean you would take the problem from a global perspective, yeah, and then you narrow it down to the apex, to the area of study, and then after you've done that, you'd make a conclusive statement. The last paragraph or the last line, your background of study would be a conclusive statement that basically sums it up. Let me give you an example. When you want to talk about, for instance, sustainable materials, you could say the problem of environmental degradation has been plaguing the world at large on a global scale, and researchers have been looking for ways to solve this problem. That's like the first line, and then when you narrow it down to Nigeria, how active steps have been taken to solve that particular problem. Before you say, based on the foregoing, the study seeks to address this. That's all about the background. The problem statement, that is where you'd identify something called the research gap. So basically, the research gap is something that is based on two principles. Research in itself has to do with either presenting a novel solution or building on an existing body of knowledge, right? So presenting a novel solution means that you are doing something entirely new, while working on an existing body of knowledge, it means you want to improve something that already exists, right? So the gap in research is basically what others have done pertaining to that area and what is yet to be done. So that void in itself is called the research gap. So in your problem statement, you have to identify that particular void, right, with relevant literature. In fact, you must cite every single statement you make in this particular. It's very important because, I mean, you're saying the problem, but how do you know this problem exists? Obviously, you have to like review literatures. So your problem statement should be very clear, concise, and direct. Then after that, you'd go into stating your aims and your objectives, and then you go into significance of the study, and then operational definition of terms. Basically, the introduction of your entire report. That's basically what your chapter 1 is. And then chapter 2, the review of literature. This one is the part I actually hate the most. I'm not even, I kid you not, I do not like literature review because it took my time. And for people that are very gifted at writing, because people that are very gifted at writing, they know how to like walk their way around it. For me, I like writing, but my style of writing is creative writing, and literature review is anti-creative writing because you cannot be creative. You are basically you are reviewing literature, you are stating what has been done, and you are comparing it with different studies. Let me give you an example. If you meet someone from Unilag, right, and then you say, this guy lied to me, therefore everybody from Unilag are liars. That is a very subjective way to carry out like a study, and that is subjective review of literature. But when you say, I've met this person from Unilag, he lied to me, he's a liar, I must go to Unilag, talk to at least 150 people to see if truly they are liars, and therefore I can come to the conclusion that they are liars. That is what literature review is. So I'm going to review an, an incredible amount of papers, and you'd break them down into section headings. Section headings are things that are relevant to the topic theme as well as the objectives of your study. Don't worry, when you begin to take classes from Professor Odusami as well as Dr. Farami, you'll understand what this means essentially. So that is what literature review means basically. You'd review literature, you'd make comparison. For instance, Moise stated that concrete is good for the environment. Contrarily, Bolupe said that it is terrible for the environment. On the other hand, Ibrahim said that it's just about okay. So you are looking at multiple studies, multiple areas, multiple perspectives, and then you're just making your own conclusive statement. The last line for every paragraph should be your own short inferences about the paper that you've reviewed. So that's what literature review essentially means. And then chapter 3 is how you carried out your research, the methodology. So now this one is, I think I picked something from what Bolupe said in the last session that we had. She said it's something you can do in 2 hours, and that's 100% correct. In fact, I think I did mine in less than that. There's a literal template that you can follow for your chapter 3. But now you have to be sure of how you want to approach your project. This is where the idea of quantitative, qualitative, or experimental statement would be made. When you say quantitative, from the name quantity, it implies that number is of more importance. Qualitative means that quality, insights are more important. And for experiment, it means that practical is very, very important. I hope you get that analogy that I'm trying to make here. For quantitative, when you want to carry the quantitative research, you are particular about the insights from a very large number of people, right? Say, for instance, you want to identify the challenges that construction workers face, right, on site. Maybe something has to do with, I don't know, a harsh relationship from their organization, maybe them being underpaid. You want to sample a large number of workers. I want to see their perception regarding that particular area of study. That is quantitative, right? And the best way to approach this is through questionnaire. So when you prepare a question, and questionnaires usually consist of closed-ended questions where you have like a Likert scale. So a Likert scale basically is a scale that is used to test the degree of importance of something, maybe from strongly agree to strongly disagree. Very important, not at all important. I'm sure you'd have seen that in questionnaires. So that's basically what closed-ended questions basically mean. So when you use that to test the perception over a very large sample size, that's quantitative. Now qualitative here, this one you are testing, you are getting insight from people that are very knowledgeable about the concept. You cannot just decide to share questionnaires. It defeats the idea of qualitative research. People that are knowledgeable, because you are more particular about the quality of research. Let me give you an example. Maybe you want to talk about circular economy and the relationship with building information modeling. That in itself is not very widely adopted in Nigeria, right? So you want to meet experts, and you can't meet experts and just give them questionnaire, closed-ended question from established literature. You have to interview them, right? You interview them, you carry out, you reason with them, basically. That's what qualitative research has to do with. You draw insight from what they say, and then you interpret that through thematic analysis. So that's basically what qualitative research means. And contrary to the opinion of many, you can actually use some specific kind of questionnaires for qualitative research. But these questionnaires would have open-ended question. So like I said, quantitative research have closed-ended question, but qualitative research questionnaires have open-ended question, in that For instance, you would ask them the question, and then they would have to like write their thoughts. Maybe like, what do you think about the circular economy and the contribution to the reduction of the anthropogenic global emission? Like, so you put a long line there and ask them to just write what they think. So that's basically what qualitative research in form of question. So you're turning the interview into a questionnaire. That's what it means. And then experimental, I'm not really versed on this aspect. I believe that Moise has done justice to that. So my research initially was supposed to be qualitative, but time was going. So I used a particular sampling approach called snowballing to get insight from just a few people that through referrals. But you'd get accustomed to this sampling techniques later on. So I'm not going to dwell too much on this. And then I was able to use closed-ended questions, although I still plan to further my research using actually qualitative research to get like proper insights. But because of time and the workload I had to eventually like turn to quantitative, where number was of the utmost importance rather than the quality of the information that I was getting. So I had to like study two different groups: professionals that are versed on the concept and site operatives that have hands-on experience. So that my focus on research actually changed. So that's basically what you need to know for first semester, chapter 1 to 3. So in second semester, you would do data analysis, you'd carry out inferences based on what you found in your research, and you make a general conclusion, you state areas of further research, the areas that your research didn't actually cover, and then you provide an abstract, a detailed but concise and overview of your entire report, and then references, and then appendices. Appendices is basically an extension of a report where you attach things like the questionnaire that you use, the list of questions, the structure process, maybe extra pictures from your research. So I'm sure you have seen that in textbooks and the like. So that's basically what your final year report would basically entail. I don't know if I've made any like sense. You can reach out to me later on if you want more insights about qualitative approach or quantitative approach. I have like certain resource materials and YouTube links I can share with you. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope I'm not like boring you. I'll take your questions now.
Thank you so much, Moshe. Thank you. Please signify if you have questions. Okay, I think Khalid raised his hand, so please, yes, you can go on with your question.
Yeah. Private apologies for the ambient noise. So my question is basically not even for Moshide, it's for all of them. Because one thing when I was deciding on what project to work on, because I was also looking at postgraduate opportunities with my project, there are many projects that you can do, but just a very few qualify you or give you higher chances of getting good postgraduate opportunities. Like I mean scholarship opportunities, or maybe research assistant in like top tier university abroad. So please, how did you decide? Is this something you put into consideration? Or what advice would you give us people who are looking into big postgraduate opportunities?
Okay, yeah, thank you very much for that question. And that is indeed one of the key things that motivated my research. Me personally, I want to further my study. And the area that I would like to do that is an area of sustainability, like many of you would. So, and that's one of the very numerous things that motivated my research. And yeah, you'd actually consider that. For instance, now I know about the Chevening Scholarship. I know about the Commonwealth Scholarship. That when you are, doing your application, they always require maybe a publication, right? So when your final project thesis or your final project report is good enough, the department can actually publish it. For instance, now I was one of those people that handled, like, let's say I was like a technical assistant in the last conference that was done in the faculty, where I was helping the speakers or those people that were pitching their ideas. I was helping them to like navigate their slides with the projector. And I noticed something quite profound. Some of them were from our set. For instance, Gideon. Even Jalil was part of them. And these are research reports that actually stood out. And then the lecturer, the supervisors in charge took it upon themselves to actually like publish the works, right? So it is an extra advantage for you if your work can be published. In fact, to give you a massive boost, I was applying for what's it called, the Sino African Green Alliance Fellowship of late, and they asked for, I don't know, have you been directly or indirectly involved in some sort of publication, something like that? And I was like, well, technically I have been, but the publication that I've worked on is not out per se. So quite frankly, I put no. But if I had like a publication of my own, it would have like it would have exponentially improved my chances of getting accepted into the fellowship, into this research fellowship. And let me even bust your head. For those of you that plan to further your education, there is this opportunity in you that would come very soon. It is like a technology. When I was being introduced, they said something like I'm a technology transfer ambassador. It was actually Moise, and through Dr. Sheng, he got this I don't know opportunity, and then he sent it to me, and then I thought about it very like I was like, this thing will take my time. Me that I'm trying to boost my GP. I want to enter, let me not say too much, but I want to enter a very good academic standing. Would applying for this really discourage me? So I realized that, wait a minute, this thing can actually like help me if I want to apply for future opportunities. And then in my application, listen, I wrote that I'm passionate about research. That's number one. Number two, I would like for my research to be published because I'm working on something that solves a pressing problem that affects we Nigerians. And I think that in itself is one of those things that made me go accepted into the program. And when they were doing the introductory ceremony of the ambassador program, they said that some of you have a vast in research, and then the essence of the program, technology transfer, means from innovation to research to commercialization. So, long story short, research is very, very good. So you should take your final project very, very seriously because it could open like a lot of opportunities for you. A good example is this guy from that finished from quantity surveying. I don't know if you guys know about him. His nickname is QS. He did not finish with a first class, but because of his final year project, he was able to secure a fully funded scholarship to invest in the United States. And um, I don't know if that's enough motivation. Really, just take your research very seriously. Try as much as possible not to fabricate your data. Do it very honestly, even if you are not like doing it. If even if your stuff will not be as technical as you would want it to be, try to just do it very very honestly. Try to solve a problem, and I hope I've answered your question, Khalid.
Yeah, you are. So just a follow-up question, because when I met Dr. Shingi, you will say something about like my own proposal that you would not just want to publish my proposal, like we want to patent it before publishing. So I don't even understand because in a way I'm just so scared about this, but at the same time it's really what I want to do because I'm looking so forward and I know where I want to be at and I know what I want to use this project to do. But at the same time, I'm just getting scared.
Hey Khalid, let me tell you, I'm also scared too. Like, you know that there's this meme that there's no plan B, there's no plan A. I'm just out here vibing, and I hope the decisions do not f my life up. That's basically like me right now. But let me tell you something. There are three words I'll tell you, Khalid. Do it afraid. Like, just do it. Don't care about the repercussions. Just you know what you're looking for, and you know the odds that you have at stake. Ask yourself, do you really want this? And is it actually worth it? It means up to you. At the end of the day, you're the biggest obstacle to achieving what you actually want, really. Like me, I chickened out. My research was supposed to be more bulky, but I asked myself, is it worth it? And myself told me no. So I wanted to boost my GP. But like you now, you have like literally nothing to lose. You're on a very good academic standing. So you know what you're looking for, and then just do it as you please, Khalid. And you can send your what's it called to me. You can send your proposal. You can send it to me. I have like I don't know people that are good in research. They can help you like take a look at it before you eventually submit it. I think.
We've submitted, but I'll send it to you. Thank you so much. I will still send. If it needs refinement, I will discuss that with Dr. Shengri.
No, 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 wahala, no, wahala.
So I want to add something to what Moshe said. When you want postgraduate opportunities, even if your GP is not that high, if you are not a first class like me, there are other areas they look in that gives you this high chance, which is like your research experience, and this is where they ask your publication. So you can make use of this opportunity of your final year to like have a good work that can be published. And another thing I want to say is that a lot of you that have topics now, your topic should be changed. Your topic is just to just assign it to your lecturers. When you're not discussing with those lecturers, if that's not their strength, they'll give you what you need to do that is related to what they are doing. And advice to call it, it happened to me. Dr. Shengi will give you the problem here. It will be a big thing. But if you're not smart, your mates will defend why you are still working on your topic. So at this point, find out those softwares. Are there something that you can learn on time, or are there people that can help you, and like how realistic it is in solving that problem? Check on papers. Has something been done like that? If something has been done like that, reach out to the person that do it. Like me now, before I could get the contact of the research institute in Ogun State, I was reading paper and I said, oh, wow, this is similar to my work. I had to message the researcher, and we were talking on LinkedIn. So reach out to someone that has done it. But if someone has not done it, it's going to be a big time headache for you, because your first semester has you have some things to read, and you now be cracking your brain, because Dr. Shengbe will only give you the problem area. The reading and how to go about it lies in your hand. Thank you.
And yes, one thing sorry, please. There's something I would like to add to what Muiz has just said. My research initially had something that has to do with calculation of embodied energy. So I wanted to design like a calculator that I would. There was no time. Another thing that you have to take into consideration is time factor. Like just try as much as possible to work with time. I don't know how Bolukwe did it, that she was able to finish it. Me, I knew because Ibrahim told me that Bolukwe has finished her work. Me, I was still battling with my chapter 2. And I was like, how is it that she has like how is it even possible? Like I was not remotely close to where she was, and I still had to read economics. I still had to read construction tech. I mean that I cannot draw like them. I still had to like practice drawings. So me, I was like in hot soup, and I'm not as intelligent as some people in our class that they can just like read at a go, and then I was like really really struggling. So I just did what I had to do. I identified my strengths, the weaknesses, the opportunities, and the threats. I'm sure you should know about the SWOT analysis. And then I saw that okay, is it actually worth it? Should I actually do this? And those that yeah under Mr. Simeon, prepare to work. Your literature review would be very detailed. I had my literature review rejected a total of 19 times. In fact, I documented the stuff for my it was rejected 19 times with I had to start over 19 times. In fact, a like 2 days before our presentation, that was when I just started my chapter 3. Like I had like a lot of things on my plate. So I did not have the luxury of time to start like doing certain things that really, really interested me. So Khalid, you know what you want to do. Ask yourself, weigh the opportunities, be clear, or you can speak with Bolukwe how she can be an insane genius and at the same time like manage her time very, very efficiently. Because I struggled to do that really.
Okay, Labake, please go on.
Yes, I'm not sure if Moshood saw the message in the chat. I was just curious to know why it was rejected 19 times. If there's something we should look out for, or yeah, just an overall guidance. If our project supervisor were to be Mr. Senior.
Okay, let's say I'm a very stubborn person, Sha, and okay, maybe I do not look stubborn, but I'm actually stubborn. I'm more or less like a creative writer. I like writing and then like like painting like a vivid image in your brain as to what something might look like. Well, that's different from academic writing, really. um I was telling a story in literature review. Can you imagine that? That's just very dumb of me. um a literature review is supposed to be you taking other people's work, paraphrasing it, putting it in understandable terms relevant to your own work, and then making inferential statements. That's basically what literature review is. But what I was doing is that I was like saying, according to this in 1995, it presented an idea that could be looked at from this perspective. I was just really like stupid about it, and at the end of the day, I paid the price really. It was until Simeon literally called me. Mr. Simeon literally called. He called me and he was like, "What am I doing? Like, I should just quit it and do what I have to do." So he sent me a series of papers that he worked on and reports of people that he supervised. And I was like, okay, sure, you mean it. So at the end of the day, I was able to do it the way he wanted. So, and you can reach out to people that have worked on something similar, seniors, people in my set that worked on something similar, so they can guide you as to how you can go about your literature review. Really, reach out to Bolupe, Princess, Ibrahim, Tega, Unwana, Moise, Dami. Those are people that I know that really worked well on their research. You reach out to me, I'm not really sure I can like help you that profoundly, sure. So
Thank you so much, Mashu. Thank you. I don't know if any other facilitator has anything to contribute or any other person has questions to ask.
I think I have something to say. Sorry, I always forget that I'm using both my laptop and my phone. Can everybody hear me, please? I don't know if everyone's audible. Hi, guys. Hello. Okay. So I just
Yes,
wanted to ask.
We can hear Ugo.
Okay. I think Dami asked that, are there like questions, specific questions that we should, prepare for during our SIWES defense? I mean, like, obviously, whatever questions will be asked, any questions that will be asked will be probably based on like the supervisor, like panelists, and also, you know, very tailored to what you're presenting. But are there like generic questions or particular questions that we should, or areas in building as a broad concept um that we should kind of practice beforehand or read up on before the defense? Like, are there like any particular areas that they really like to talk about? I think that's my question.
Okay, I just want to say this very quickly. Your questions will be based on what you said in your presentation. That's what I noticed for the set of panelists that I had, Dr. Shoingbe, Mr. Simeon, and Dr. Kikumi. So you should be very quick in terms of like your introduction, you introduce your company, you introduce where you work. It should be more, it should talk more on like what you did. I did and that. Not that this was done on site. I did this and that and that and that. And make your slide very short. And make sure that those things that you said is what you know very well, because this is what you remember and they'll ask a question on. And have that confidence. Oh, I did this, this was done that. They don't really know what you did. is that truly confident they know that, oh, it's actually done this way?
Also, to add to what he said, um, when you are presenting, they are with your technical report and logbook. So they are flipping through the pages as you're speaking. So they are listening to you, and then something in your technical report can pique their interest, and then they can ask you, how do you come about this? So it's basically the questions are based on what you did on site. And the questions are not specific to they are not like generalized. They cannot be generalized. They are specific to individuals, at least from my own point of view.
Okay, thank you very much, Scholar Moshood. um, I think okay, Labake has a question. Please go on.
Sorry, Amina. So the last question I have is the grading, right? I remember Maurice was saying something like your supervisor has like 50% of your grades in the first semester. Can you guys, all of you, if possible, shed more light, or if one person can, about the grading system for the first semester and for the second semester, and how that would work out for us?
Okay, that's for projects. Also, SIWES, but they did not just for SIWES also, your supervisor also has is going to grade you, but they did not that did not count during our SIWES. It might count during your SIWES. So what I would advise is like, please keep a good relationship with your supervisor, regardless of who he is. They can tell you that, oh, this person is wicked and that and that. But when you talk with him, you know, oh, this person is not actually like that. When you do the right thing once, you become friend with him. I think before while I was in year three, I did not really know Dr. Shoyinbi like that. It was until I started my project and I kept a good relationship that it could even stop, like it could rescue you in instances that you cannot save yourself because of you kept a good relationship with him. Okay, so now for the grading, your this is what they did. Your course advisor, when he studies the mark that the people that you presented to has given you, and he see that, oh, many people had haze, like he saw that the marks are not that good or they are good, then he's not going to give like the percentage of mark allocation. Oh, will not tell your supervisor, please provide 40% of this mark so that when we add them together, it could put your student on a good stand. So that's why if you don't keep a good relationship with your supervisor, you might not enjoy this benefit. So during our time, I think our supervisor had 40%, and the people who presented to had 60%. And this last presentation too that we were doing, the external examiner had, okay, it has not been decided now, but what I had is like when they studied this course, the pattern was funny, so that, oh, this course is not encouraging. Then your course advisor can decide this, that, oh, your supervisor should have 50-50, and the external should have 50, just to help the students. So that's what I can say for now.
Thank you very much, Maurice. That was very helpful. Do we have any other questions, guys? Please speak up, oh, speak up. Don't be shy. Don't be scared.
Um, I think I saw a question earlier as to how I got my project done on time. And like Moshood said, generally when you face roadblocks, make sure you speak out. Make sure you speak out. And I think for me, first semester, before I went into what I did, I took I read other people's projects that were not even related to mine. So when you're talking about in the background to the study, statement of the problem, every single thing I've already like seen what other people have done that's not even related to my topic. So I know I'm arranging my words basically. And then there's a method or strategy I use to from my from extracting information from journals. That is another, a long story, and I don't want to, because you guys are actually not doing your research right now. You still get into it in a couple of months. And one thing that also helps is, like I mentioned in the last orientation, I don't do overnights. I like to sleep. And you guys, you need to know your productive hours if you want to get it done ASAP. Know how to lock in, utilize your holidays. I wouldn't say it was easy, it was hard, but at the same time, if you know how to lock in proper, I really advise to read other people's projects very well. So you don't go about, just having different, opinions everywhere. When you're tired, please sleep. Research is something that can be very annoying, yes. So when you're tired, please sleep, and then you wake up refreshed and actually productive. And for your literature review chapter 2, which is the most annoying part, please. What me I did, I put my topic on ChatGPT and I asked it to generate a table of contents for me. So whatever was going into all the subtopics in my literature review, I I I got them from ChatGPT, or ChatGPT gave it to me. Then I went to journals to go and extract information to put under those subtopics. So instead of me thinking, oh, what else should I add? Like, I'm going to journals to fish for something. I'm going to Google Scholar to find something. So I'm not just everywhere. And for chapter 4 and 5, I won't lie to you guys. Second semester, I didn't touch my project at all. Like, once I was done with chapter 1 to 3, because I did interviews, my holiday during immediately after exams, I carried out interviews. I was done with that. I recorded it on my phone. iPhone transcribed it for me. I removed all the errors, just dumped it aside. So for my chapter 4 and 5, the analysis part, I didn't touch project at all throughout second semester until after, because I know Department of Building will not do any defense till after exams. So immediately after exams, a few days after, then, oh, I haven't done my chapter 4 and 5. I needed to learn a software for it. And trust me, I just sat, I didn't even get no Bolaji. I just kept on hammering on Bolaji, what's up? I don't know what software to use. The other softwares I've been seeing, I have to pay for it. Then I was like, oh yeah, try this one out. And then it just showed me the ropes. And in 2 days, I was done with my chapter 4 and 5. So sometimes you don't need to carry headache of project like, oh no, it's one big, 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 big thing. While everybody's trying to shout about their milestones, you can just stay and it will be fine, really. So I guess that's it. Chapter 5 is really nothing. Yeah. Chapter 5 is just recommendation and conclusion. So it's chapter 4, and I was basically done to this. It's not anything that is so big that nobody has done before. And for the guys that are trying to invent what I did, I also solved the problem. I spoke about BIM and I did a case study, which is yeah, from what I've seen, yeah, it helps in postgraduate thingies. But I mean, the major goal in my head is how I can pass through the present. I know I can use it now. My work is most likely going to get published and all of that, but like, I was more in the present, not focusing on how I can do big, big, big things that would wow everybody. But different people, different stuff. I mean, in the end, just pray and ask God for direction. I guess that's all from me. Thank you, everyone.
I'll be breaking protocol. Bolupe, I have a request. Come and be my research mentor. Please. I'm begging you.
Please go and meet your guys at engineering. You are too much of a scholar. You're too much of a scholar, boss. But yeah, my DM is open to every single person, please. You people are not alone. Please. Every other person that passed through the stage had somebody. They are just not telling you that they had somebody. Me, I had somebody. As soon as I was doing my chapter 1, I didn't take it to my supervisor first. I sent it to somebody who graduated from 15. That also did. He didn't even do something really similar to mine. But I wanted feedback, and he gave me feedback. So by the time I took it to my supervisor, there was barely any corrections. So I had a good relationship with my supervisor because I wasn't taking something that hasn't been filtered to him. Any correction he's making is something that is, probably minimal or something we can talk through and all of that. Yeah. So that was it.
Thank you, Bolupe. Hamdalat, please go on with your question.
So I want to know for our project topics, I want to know how much can they change it? I want to know that is it just that they fine tune it, or is it possible that they change it entirely? That's just what I want to know. Thank you.
Yeah, I think for me, I submitted 3 project topics, and then one was picked, and then after my first semester defense, the topic was refined or more specific, so to speak. But yeah, different supervisors, different styles. But whatever style your supervisor wants to give you, the most important thing is to have a good relationship with him. So if at all they want to change your topic and turn your life upside down, you can tell him, Daddy Ejo, sir, Motife Kusibi Ejo, I have problems, I'm battling relationship issues, I have problems in my life and trying to solve. I'm sorry for being a clown, but yeah, that type of thing.
Sure. I would also like to add something to please your this research in first semester take it very seriously, especially for those of you that would like to go for quantitative research. Like take it very, very seriously. I don't know, Ibrahim mentioned this in the last session that we basically sat down in the studio together in the morning, began our analysis together, and we finished it together. Like I don't know, it was basically our knowledge from first semester. We sat down together. I was calling Mr. Simeon, very helpful too. He told us to carry out something called factor analysis. We had no idea how to go about it, but because of our residual knowledge, it really helped us. And then we found our way around it really. So take first semester research very, very seriously, even though the course is really annoying. And they said um, OJ is now like on sabbatical, so I guess that can be a good sign or maybe a bad sign. Who knows? So
Thank you so much, Masho. Thank you, Bolupe. Thank you, Moise. I don't know. Are there other questions, or do we call it a day now?
I don't have a question, but Moshood, please repeat that part again. Do you mean Faremi is on leave?
I'm afraid I didn't mention any names.
Okay, but someone is on leave, Sha. Thank God.
Oh God, thank you. Uh, oh God, I don't know. Any other questions? Any comments? Anything, please? Okay, I guess that's all for today. Thank you so much to our facilitators. Like I think I speak everyone's mind when I say this was a very, very helpful session today. And I'm sure a lot of us took away a lot of useful things from today's session. Thank you so much. And to the people that attended today, thank you from whatever busy schedule you had. I know you took your time to join and we're grateful basically. I just want to remind you guys that your SIWES experience is not just a requirement, it's an opportunity to connect theory with real world experience. Approach your defense with confidence and see your project as a reflection of your growth. On behalf of the organizing team, I am your your wonderful host, and I am signing off on this note. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, guys. Have a lovely night. I will be ending the call now. Thank you so much. Bye. Mwah.